Ladies, make your man a sandwich. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Mac. And for today's topic, actually, today's coffee, I like my cup of coffee. Today's coffee is from Pete's. And I did Pete's before. I kind of like Pete's. It started by this guy named Pete, last name, in 1966 in Berkeley in a small coffee shop, Berkeley, California. Started roasting his own different blend of beans. And what I like about Pete's is that it has the roast date on it. See, the raw coffee bean has a long shelf life, but it's when they roast the bean that the shelf life is shortened drastically. So that's why good quality coffee is more expensive than regular uh, mass manufactured coffee. And because that coffee is sitting in the warehouse, it's sitting on the shelf for a long, long time and it gets stale. I mean, you know it if you have a bad cup of coffee. And of course, as I said before, I always drink my coffee black, no sugar. I actually get the real taste of the real coffee. And I tell you what, every batch tastes a little bit different because that's the way coffee should be. Because not every bean is the same, not every roast is the same. The roasts are a little different, the beans are a little different. So you really get the flavor and the taste of the coffee by drinking it black with no sugar. Okay, that's the real coffee. And and again, you should always drink in moderation. Don't have coffee after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I try to have 2 cups in the morning, and may have a third cup, but it's always before like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I try to have 2 cups in the morning. And so today's coffee is Pete's. I like Pete's, and the sooner it's roasted, the better it tastes. What I would recommend is that you go out, you buy yourself your own portable roaster. You can actually roast about this much coffee in about an hour or two. And the roaster for that size, a personal home roaster, probably costs about anywhere from $200 to $500. And you can buy the raw beans online. Okay, so that's what you do. You buy the raw beans, have a long shelf life, and you can roast your own coffee and then grind your own coffee. And it tastes so much better. That's the way to go. Anyway, today's coffee is brought to you by Pete's. I'm going to leave a link on with this video. And of course, if you want to read about coffee studies and the health benefits of coffee, you go to my blog page, Silver Fox Fit Club. That's www.silverfoxfitclub.com. And I have scientific studies by reputable universities, and they talk about the health benefits of coffee, as long as you don't overdo it. So drink up, enjoy your coffee. Now, and you see I have my little coffee selection up here, so and these are some of the coffees I like. Anyway, so today you heard me open it up. Ladies, make your man a sandwich. And initially, how do you feel about that statement? Uh, I bet you some women out there, and most women out there, some men were really taken aback with that statement. They were maybe appalled, maybe they were flabbergasted, and they said, "What the hell is this guy talking about? Why is he being, you know, misogynist?" And there are no those, there's no such thing as a woman should be making a man a sandwich. And I've heard comedians talk about this over the last 20 years. One of the first comedians I heard talk about this was, I believe, Richard Pryor, a long, long time ago. But then maybe 15 years ago, I seen a skit with Dave Chappelle doing, and it's talking about make me a sandwich. And then I seen several comedians do it. But I was reminded of it, and here's why I was reminded of it. I saw a clip from the Wendy Williams show, a recent show within the last 6 months, and she had a guest on there, and they were talking about gender roles, traditional gender roles within the relationship, whatever relationship you have. And we're talking about if the gender roles have changed over the years, if the traditional roles still exist. Well, the guest on the show, when he said a woman should make her man a sandwich once in a while, you got a lot of hisses from the audience, a lot of boos. You got a cockeyed look from Wendy Williams. And then he went on to explain. And one of the first things he says, well, hold on. Let me ask you something. You're all complaining that I just said, woman, make your man a sandwich once in a while. Let me ask you something. You're out with your man and somebody disrespects you. You expect your man to have your back and to protect you and stick up for you? Majority of people said yes in the audience. And Wendy Williams nodded in approval. Yes. Okay. You hear a noise in the night from downstairs in the backyard, from the apartment door, or maybe broken window. Who gets the elbow? Who gets woken up? Usually the man. Hey, I hear a noise. Go check it out. Okay. You got to go up on a roof, fix a leak on a roof. One of the shingles is leaking. Who's going to do it? Probably the man in the household. You like when your man holds a door for you, right? Holds the cab door, holds the car door, holds the door when you're walking into a building. So you like that, right? How about carrying the heavy packages? Who are you calling for that? You're calling your man, or reach up somewhere high and for the top shelf. So if it snows, heavy snow, and it's a lot of snow, you take out the garbage. Right? Whose role is that in the household? It's usually the guy. So if it's not the kids, it's the guy. So, and by the end of the conversation, he had the whole audience in agreement because he wasn't saying, hey, every woman should make every man a sandwich. He was saying, if you appreciate your man, you should show him your appreciation by making him a sandwich once in a while. And I will tell you, no sandwich tastes better than the one that's made for you. And everybody knows that's true. You can never make a sandwich as good as when somebody else makes it for you. But there is a great appreciation, to a man when the person that they are with makes them a sandwich or cooks for them. Remember, the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So there is a lot behind that. So he wasn't saying every woman should make indiscriminately every man a sandwich. No, he was saying if you appreciate your man, make him a sandwich once in a while to show your appreciation. By the end of the conversation, everybody was in agreement. Even Wendy Williams was in agreement. So when he got to explain himself better or more or in length, everybody was in agreement. Which brings me back to the original idea. In today's postmodernist society, which is very progressive, are there still traditional gender roles within a family structure, a household, a communal structure? And I would say yes, there are. We expect women that we live with to act a certain way. They expect the man that they live with to act in a certain way. And it doesn't mean that you're putting anybody down, or it doesn't mean you're a hypocrite or you're misogynist. There are still traditional gender roles that do exist within today's society. No matter how hard certain people try to do away with them all. So what are some of the things that you expect your man to do? Listen, there's a lot of things expected of us. All right, you hear about it on the news. If something's happening on the street and a man runs away, then cowers and leaves the woman that he's with or the children that he's with alone on the sidewalk, he's condemned in a society, in the public opinion, in the court of public. He's condemned for that. So there are certain justifiable, still existing gender roles out there for men. So, and I think there's a longing for men to act like men. And when we say men acting like men, we don't mean men getting drunk, being loud, starting fights, being aggressive. That's not what we're talking about. We mean being reasonable, being stoic once in a while, calm under pressure, be a thinker, be compassionate and show empathy, be thoughtful, right? Be accommodating. That's all part of being a man. Show guidance, be a good father, be a good, significant other to the person that you're with. That's all part in being a good man. That's the real good qualities of a man. Not those stereotypical aggressive qualities that everybody despises. That's not the quality of being a man. I think also being a man, you got to be, if you're going to be in a household and if you need to take a second job to make ends meet or you do something, you need to do that. So you need to do what you have to do to sustain the household. And it also means being supportive. So it has nothing to do with being aggressive, has nothing to do with being macho, has nothing to do with being tyrannical. Nobody likes a tyrant, okay? Real men are caring. Real men are calm under pressure. Real men think about things, what they have to do, and then they come up with a plan and they do it. Real men are actively involved with their children all the time. Okay, so this is what real men do, and I think women they want to go back to where we have real men. There's an old saying, and where have all the cowboys gone? And it has nothing to do with being macho. It has to do with, where are all the qualities of that man from yesteryear? The guy that would hold the door, the guy that would give up his seat in the subway. Because let's face it, woman, if there's a pregnant woman on the subway, you want that man to give up his seat. You'll look funny at that man sitting down with a woman or an old woman standing in front of him, right? So that's a traditional role that man has to play in public, but you expect it. So I think there's a longing for men to act like real men and not the men that are on TV. No, real men. And I think that's what's missing in society. Because a real man would take an active role within their family. A real man would take a leadership role within their family. A real man would take a partnership role in their family. Because a family is a partnership. A real man would listen to criticism. A real man would not display impulse, a lack of impulse control. So there's a lot of qualities of being a real man that have gone by the wayside and people ignore. But I think a lot of time, I think most women long for. They long for that real men quality that people used to have, but they no longer have. And I think a lot of men are afraid to be real men or display the fact that they are real men because of this gender neutral climate that we're in, where it's no good to acknowledge a gender or you, you're being criticized for acknowledging a gender. There's nothing wrong with a woman being a woman. There's nothing wrong with a man being a man. Okay, live and let live. That's what I say. People who want to be different, that's fine. Live and let live. But if there's a household and they want to, and they're lovingly and compassionately working together in that household under traditional gender roles, let them live, let them do that too. Okay, so I think it's so woman, make your man a sandwich, and men, make your woman a sandwich once in a while too. They'll appreciate it because everybody loves a good sandwich, especially when somebody makes it for them. Okay, you can't deny that. Yeah, we all like that. I can't make myself a good sandwich. I think it's the anticipation of waiting for that sandwich and then you eat it and somebody else made it. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. The vanishing traditional gender roles and the need to go back to them. And there's nothing wrong with going back to the traditional gender roles that we had in society. There's nothing wrong with being flexible, okay? If you don't want traditional roles in the workplace, that's fine. But if it works in people's households, that's fine too. So we all need to be able to live and let live and stop forcing people to live certain ways that you want them to live, but they don't want to live. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. Okay? So make each other a sandwich once in a while. Everybody appreciates that. Don't forget, I'm going to leave a link for Peet's Coffee, okay, and after this video. Don't forget to like the video, hit the subscribe button, please. I appreciate it. Make sure you don't leave here without hitting the subscribe button. And I'm going to leave a link for my website, www.silverfoxfitclub.com, for health and fitness for men 40 and over. Take care, everybody. Bye.